So we have the two centers out center court here. And all the Wrangell galleys are on one side, all the Haines boys are on the other, so I guess it's kind of a toss-up here to see which way things are going to go on the tip-off. Ball's up, going to be controlled by the Glacier Bears. Gets it over into Krager's hands. He'll set the offense. Looks like the Wolves are going to come out, play a little bit of pressure defense here as they come out to 2-3s. On the way by Faverty. No, rebound comes back down into the hands of 44. That's Hammer. He quickly gets the ball back off over to Miller. Miller will handle the ball quite a bit for the Wolves. They go back inside to Hammer. He breaks down lane, had a lane all to himself, didn't realize it. Nobody was between him and the basket, and he passes the ball back out. Ball goes rotating around on the left-hand side, now back to the right. Cross court back to Miller. All the way over, nothing going, however, as Hammer has the ball, comes back out. Blatchley has the ball for a minute. Shot on its way off the side of the rim, nothing but air on that one as Miller put it up, and it was a bit short. Krager comes down. He's got it on the right-hand side on the dribble. A lot of pressure being applied way beyond the three-point arc. Now they get it over Davis, right-hand side. One dribble back to Krager. They're working that right-hand side, just beginning first quarter action. Inside to Faverty, puts it up and in. Nice little play that time. That was created by Davis, however, as he drew the defense to himself and then just dished it off. Faverty had a nice open look. Pass almost knocked away by Davis. He anticipated that pass, stepped out, but wasn't able to get it. And they get the ball back inside. Blatchley has it, turns, moved to the hoop, kicks it back out. Nothing going, however, back to Blatchley, right-hand side. Faverty puts some pressure on Glacier Bears in a man-to-man defense. Looked inside for Faverty. Stop shot goes up a little bit too strong, but there's a whistle as it went up by Miller, but he drew the foul. Foul's on 31. That'll be Verham. That'll be his first personal foul. And at the line will be Trevor Miller. 2-0 is the score, just beginning there in the beginning of the basketball game. This one is good, so he picks up his first point from the free throw line. He's got 1 point in the ball game. 2-1's the score now. 6:31 to go here in the first quarter. Miller bounces a couple, three more times, looks away on its way, and nothing but net. So he picks up the first two for the Wrangell Wolves, that coming from the free throw line. 2-2 is the score. Krager brings the ball down, reverses back to the left-hand side. Alley-oop inside to Faverty. Spin move, had the shot. Back out to Davis. Three's on the way. A little bit too strong. Faverty comes down with it. He puts it up a little bit too strong off the back of the iron. Verheim comes with it over to Clay. Back into Faverty. He puts it up, rolls around, doesn't go. Finally, the rebound comes down into the hands of Blatchley, and he'll bring it up for the Wolves. Boy, the Glacier Bears, I don't know how many offensive boards they had there, but just couldn't get it to fall. They reverse it back to the left-hand side to Loftus. He comes back out to Miller. Miller looks inside. Screen set by Blatchley, but Miller keeps going. Spins around. Back on the baseline. Loftus puts up the shot a little too strong. Rebound down to Faverty. Gets it all over to Krager, but stepping in front is Loftus. Making the steal. Keeps the ball back. Blatchley wanted the shot. Drives inside. Stops. Puts up the jumper from about 6. It's good. Blatchley went down the lane, got the defense, got him up in the air, and he waited. Faverty makes a move across. Goes to Verham underneath. He forces up the shot. Going to be a foul. Foul's going to be on Blatchley. That'll be his first personal. Quite a bit taller than Verham. All right, that's going to send Wesley to the free throw line. Glacier Bears first opportunity from there. On its way off to the right-hand side, not any good. He'll get a second. 5:25 to go here in the first quarter. Has the ball, couple of bounces. On its way in and out, no. Rebound comes back down into the hands of number 44. That's Hammer. And he quickly gets the ball over to Miller, over to Loftus. Loftus goes down the lane, stops, kicks the ball back out. Going to be a block on one of the Glacier Bears. 41, that'll be Clay. That'll be his first personal foul. So 2 team fouls on the Glacier Bears right now. Inbounding right in front of the Glacier Bear bench, all the way across to Hammer. Hammer gives it back to Loftus. He goes down the lane. Nobody picks him up. He goes up and in. So he saw that breakaway, and he went right to the hoop. Nice shot that time, as nobody was there. Almost made the steal from Krager. Back to Davis. Over to Clay on the side. Tried to go inside. The ball's being bounced around, and there's going to be a kick on it. Ball's going to go out of bounds. Looks like we're going to have Number 12 coming into the ball game. That'll be David Strong for the Glacier Bears. Gets the ball back into Krager. Takes a left-hand dribble. Good defense. They cut that one off. They go back inside to Faverty. Back over to Strong off the bench. First shot up, a little bit short. Rebound down to Verham. He wasn't able to get it. Tried to put it back up, and now he's going to be whistled for the travel. Is the number 44. That's Hammer. As the ball was kind of bouncing around, and it ended up in his hands, and he just ended up taking an extra step or two. Didn't really intend to do it, but that's just what happened. Going to be Glacier Bear basketball under their hoop, left-hand side. Goes back to Davis. Looks up at the hoop, back to Krager. 3 on the way, a little bit too strong. Rebound comes down into the hands of Hammer, and he'll get it off to Miller. He'll bring it across the half-court line. Wrangell leads 6-2 right now. Back out to Loftus on the dribble. Looks up at the hoop, gives up his dribble, doesn't have anywhere to go with it, stops, kicks the ball back out, goes over to Hammer. Hammer will bring it back up and set the offense. Looking for Blatchley underneath. Not there though. Loftus breaks down the lane, stops, spin move up and in. He just kind of went around everybody and just kept going and got the easy hoop out of it. So now the Wrangell Wolves lead by 8-2. And Coach Fossman wants to call a quick timeout here. Let's see, it's going to be a 30-second timeout here. So I don't know how many offensive boards that Glacier Bears had down there, but boy, they had a bunch of boards. We don't keep track of offensive and defensive, but I know underneath that time they had a bunch.
Yeah, Hammer's getting quite a few rebounds too. He's leading the Wolves with 4 rebounds. And looks like right now the Wolves are shooting 50%.
All right, 30-second timeout. Glacier Bears are out. Wrangell Wolves sit right down below us here. We're about mid-court looking across the way. Glacier Bears far right-hand side of the score bench. Wrangell Wolves are the left-hand side of the score bench. All right, going to be Glacier Bear basketball. They'll bring it out. 4 minutes, 6 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. Krager with the dribble. Zone defense by the Wrangell Wolves. 2-3 shifting nicely as they cut that pass off. They wanted to go back inside to Faverty, but wasn't able to get it there. Now Davis on the right-hand side stops, keeps the dribble alive, goes to the baseline, goes to Verham, and now he's going to be a foul on 44, and that'll be Hammer, and that'll be his first personal foul. Down along the baseline, he tried to cut him off, just didn't get there in time on that move by Davis. Davis is pretty quick, so you got to anticipate that. Back to Faverty, long 3 on the way in and out, no rebound, fought for. Coming down with it is number 34, that'll be Miller, and he's going to keep the dribble as he goes all the way down the court. Krager puts a little pressure on over to Loftus. Loftus looks inside, gets around Strong. Goes back to Davis, nothing going, however, as they came around to Abramson, and now there's a whistle on it and a travel. Going to be Glacier Bear basketball. 3:30 to go here in the first quarter. Glacier Bears bringing across. Now they'll reverse the dribble back. They'll go right-hand side to Davis. Quickly out there is putting a lot of pressure on her, the Wrangell Wolves. Krager goes down inside. Jumper about 6, a little bit too strong. Fought for underneath. Strong comes up with it for the Glacier Bears. Back out to Krager. 3-pointer on the way, and he's got it. Carson Krager picks up his first 3 points of the basketball game as the score is a little bit closer, 8-5. 3-point lead by the Wrangell Wolves right now, and they have the basketball. Dribbling down is Abrahamson on the left-hand side. Nothing going, though. He'll bring it back out to Miller. Krager puts some pressure on man-to-man defense. Screen set. Miller puts up the shot, bounces around. He's got it. Trevor Miller picks up his 4th point. Nice shot that time as he set up and went straight up in the air. Faverty tries to go baseline for the Glacier Bears. Nothing going. Back out to Davis. Davis spins around. Wants to go back inside. Going to be another whistle on it. 44 is the foul. That'll be Hammer. That'll be his second. And quickly off the bench for the Wolves is number 24 coming into the basketball game. And that'll be Eagle for the Wrangell Wolves. 2:35 to go here in the first quarter. Strong, long outlet pass to Davis. Davis stops, spins back. Faverty, 3-pointer on the way. Nothing but air, goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Wrangell Wolves as Kirby just missed that one completely. Glacier Bears put a little bit of pressure on. Abrahamson will handle it across. He gets across the half-court line. Davis stops him, however, reverses the dribble back. Almost goes out of bounds. Now he gets it back out to Miller. Miller beats his man. Kicks the ball back inside. Eagle shot a little bit short. Rebound comes back down to Miller. He fires it up, and he's got it. Trevor Miller picks up his 6th point of the game. 12-5 is the lead right now. Pass is a lot long back to Krager, saved by Kirby Faverty, but ends up in the hands of Krager. Strong down at the baseline, back to Faverty. 3-pointer on the way, a little bit too strong. Blatchley comes away with the board for the Wolves, and he'll give it off to Miller. He'll get across the half-court line. 1:45 to go here, first quarter action. Wolves lead by 7, 12-5. Tries to go inside. Verham puts up the shot a little bit too strong, however, as Loftus got inside. Nobody was there, and he just missed the lay-in. Back out to Krager on the right-hand side on the dribble. Doesn't get anything. He'll reverse it back to Davis. Davis goes down the center. Comes back out. 3-pointer on the way by Strong. A little too strong. Rebound. Fought for underneath. Goes out of bounds off of Krager. Eagle was there too. And we've got 22 coming into the game. That'll be Kyle Strong for the Glacier Bears. And the pass will come back into Loftus. He'll bring it across the half-court line. Strong, David puts a little bit of pressure on, tries to get around Loftus. Good defense, and now it's going to be carrying the ball back and forth. Going to be a turnover on the Wrangell Wolves there. As good defense that time by the Glacier Bears. Had him pretty much trapped, used the sideline and himself, and there wasn't much happening there. He ended up traveling with the basketball. Back out to Krager. Goes left-hand side to Faverty. Back out to Krager. Krager steps inside, goes over to Davis, working the right-hand side. Baseline, Faverty stopped, jumper about 6, and he's got it. Faverty picks up his 4th win of the ball game. Glacier Bears cut into the lead a little bit. It's 53 seconds to go here in the first quarter. A little bit of full court pressure, but not a lot, easily handled by the Wolves. Miller on the right-hand side. They lead by 5. He has the ball. Stops, kicks the ball back into Eagle. He puts it up. It goes around, doesn't go. He gets his own board back, forces up the shot. Rebound finally is kicked around and goes out of bounds off of Davis's foot. Boy, the Glacier Bears had 2-3 chances to grab that. And, well, so did the Wrangell Wolves there, but nobody could gain control. 34 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 12-7 is the score. Wrangell with the lead and the basketball. Goes left-hand side to Loftus. He looks up inside, can't find anybody. Looks back out to Miller. Miller stops, looking for Blatchley underneath. He's got his hand up, but good defense by Faverty there, not giving it to him. Back out to Miller. 14 seconds. Now the screen is set. They go back inside. Miller goes back to Eagle. Eagle puts up the shot, and he's got it. So he picks up 2 points as he came off the bench and got those. 7-point lead, 3 seconds, 1 second. 3-pointer on the way, off the back of the iron, and we're going to end this first quarter with the Haines Glacier Bears coming away with 7 points and the Wrangell Wolves finishing the quarter with 14 points. We're going to turn it back to KSTK Studios for 1 minute. Back in 1 minute. Do you want to call a quarter? Not yet? No. Okay. We can talk about that, though. And welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Just beginning second quarter action. Wrangell leads 14-7.
Yeah, we got the Glacier Bears. They're only shooting 20% that first quarter, and the Wolves are shooting 46%. Leading rebounds for Wrangell is Hammer with 4, Blatchley with 2, Eagle with 1. Faverty's leading with 3 for the Glacier Bears, 2 for Strong, and 1 for Clay.
Okay, Wrangell Wolves got the ball on the start of the second quarter here. Miller with it over left-hand side. Abramson doesn't go anything. Davis comes out to put a little bit of pressure. Long cross-court pass. Loftus almost gets around his man. Nice help that time by Verham as he came over as Loftus had Strong beat. Back out to Miller. He look inside for Blatchley. They find Eagle coming down. Eagle put up the shot. Doesn't go. Rebound down to Verham for the Glacier Bears. That was a good opportunity there for Eagle, just couldn't get it to go. Faverty, 3-pointer on the way, bounces off the back of the iron, rebound fought for. Eagle comes up with it for the Wolves, and quickly down the court come Miller. Now they'll get back. Glacier Bears get back, set up their defense. Comes back outside to Abrahamson on the side. Davis knocks it out of bounds, however. As like I mentioned before, Davis is pretty quick, so you have to anticipate that. And I don't know, that time he was able to knock the ball at least out of bounds anyway, not make the steal. Back to Miller. Krager puts the pressure on. Miller goes around him. Verham stops him. Going to be carrying the ball on it. As nice help by Verham as he came across and helped him out. Otherwise, he had him beat to the hoop. Davis with the basketball, just beginning second quarter action. Davis goes over to Krager, right-hand side. Wolves come out. They're still staying in that zone defense. Over to Faberty, out to Davis at the top. Penetrates inside, wants to get the ball back out. Knocked out of his hands. And now the ball bounces around, and Miller had control of it. He realized that he'd lost control of it, and so he couldn't want to grab the ball, but coach says at least grab it anyway so that they don't get an easy bucket out of it. Verham will get the ball back inside. Now he goes to Davis, all the way over to Faberty. Jumper from about 6, a little bit short, but there's a whistle on it. Let's see who it's going to be on the shot. Foul's going to be on Blatchley. That'll be his second personal foul. So the Wolves have 2 ball players with 2 fouls each, 4 team fouls for the Wolves right now. That'll send Kirby Faberty to the free throw line. Cut into that lead. This one's on its way. Looks good and is. So he picks up 1 there. Cuts into that Wrangell lead. 14-8 right now. He'll get a second as he was shooting on that one. This one goes up and also good. Nothing but net on that. And now quickly down the court comes Miller. Krager puts some pressure on. Miller keeps the dribble alive, however. 9-14 is the score. Wrangell with the 14 points. They'll go cross court. Davis steps out front, makes the steal, goes hard to the hoop, up and missed the lay-in. Albert bounces around into the hands of number 20 who checked into the ball game. That's Gutenbichler, and now there's going to be looks like maybe coach wants a timeout. Angerman says he wants a timeout here. Let's see what it's going to be. Looks like he wants to take a full timeout, so that being the case here with the score, Wrangell 14, Haines 9. We're going to turn it back to KSTK for 1 minute. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Haines, Alaska here. Glacier Bear basketball. Wrangell Wolves in town. They lead 14-9 right now. And it's going to be their basketball. Pretty much deep in the right-hand side here as they're coming down by the Glacier Bear bench. Alley-oop inside to Blatchley. Blatchley stops, looks up. Faberty steps up on him. Blatchley keeps the dribble alive, goes over, comes across, nothing going in. He makes a move down inside, spin move, wants to go up, puts up the shot, up and in. Riley Blatchley just kept working down underneath and was able to get the nice little jump hook chime there and got it to go back to Davis. Davis goes right-hand side to Krager. Krager back to Davis, way beyond the three-point arc. 2-3 zone defense by the Wolves right now. Comes back out to Davis at the top. 5:45 to go in the first half of play, knocked out of bounds by Eagle. Few substitutions by Cody Angerman here as he had two boys in foul trouble already, so he doesn't want him to pick up that third. Davis breaks down inside, wants to put up the shot, partially blocked away, finally ends up in the hands of Verham. Verham gets the ball back out to Krager, over to Faberty, all the way over to Strong. Nice passing and off a little bit too strong off the iron. Rebound comes back down to Gutenbichler, and he gets the ball back into Miller's hands. Nice ball move at that time by the Glacier Bears, just couldn't capitalize on the bucket. Stops, takes a couple of dribbles, they'll get back out. Loftus at the top over to Miller, reverses back around to Eagle. Eagle looks, spins, backs outside to Blatchley, back out to Miller. Miller goes to the hoop, nope, changed his mind, now he does. He goes strong up and in. Trevor Miller kind of give and go there and got the defense to relax, and he went right around him. Now Loftus is going to be whistled for the foul. wanted to make that steal. The ball was out in front there, thought he could get it, but Davis was going that direction and ended up fouling. That's the 5th team foul now on the Wrangell Wolves. 2 team fouls on the Glacier Bears. Got another sub coming off the bench here right shortly. Looks like we're going to be bringing Abrahamson back into the ball game. Alley-oop across to Krager. Krager goes inside. Stop. Jumper from the free throw line. It's good. So Krager picks up his 5th point of the basketball game. Went right to the free throw line. Got a nice, easy jumper out of it. 7-point lead by the Wolves right now, and they have the basketball. Miller out at the top with the dribble. Tries to go around Blatchley off the defense. Does. Reverses back. He's trapped in the corner now. And now the ball comes flying out. Krager's going to come away with the steal, but then he's immediately tied up, and it's going to go back to the Glacier Bears. He got down in that corner, and there wasn't much going on down there. When you get in those far corners like that, defense definitely has the advantage. Goes back out to Davis. Davis across the half-court line, takes the dribble to the right-hand side, stops, wants the baseline, comes back out. Faberty. Faberty wanted to put up the shot. 3-pointer on the way, in and out, no rebound, comes back down the hands of Blatchley for the Wolves, and he's still got the dribble. Looking up. Loftus, he didn't see him. Now the ball's knocked away by Krager, and they go back out to Faberty, who's up and in. So Faberty gets that one, Kirby does. And the Glacier Bears now have it down to 5. That's the lowest it's been for quite some time here. 3:47 to go. Back into Blatchley. He wants to make a move. Puts it inside. Puts it up, in and out. No rebound, down to Eagle. He doesn't have anything. Back to Loftus. Loftus looks, stops, jumps, moves. Shots on the way up and in. Well, Skylar Loftus has got 6 points for the Wrangell Wolves, back to a 7-point lead now. Davis breaking the ball down inside. Burham goes strong on the baseline. Going to be a strong shot way over the hoop. Rebound down to Miller. Miller takes the dribble, stops, wants to penetrate inside. Wasn't there, however. And back out to Miller. Jumper from about 6, going to be strong, up and in. Eagle missed it, however, as he got the easy rebound off of the ball, but missed the easy little bunny inside. And so he hustles back on defense. 3 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Comes back out. Loftus tries to make that steal again. Goes over to Krager. Faberty at the baseline. Good defense by the Wolves that time as they didn't give him the shot. Now they go Verheim down underneath. Stops. Wants to come back out. Now there's going to be a foul on it. Let's see what it's going to be. It can be a kicked ball. We've got 44 Hammer coming back into the ball game, and Abrahamson coming into the ball game. So a couple substitutions there for the Wrangell Wolves here. Back out to Davis atop. 2:45 to go, first half of play. Davis gives up his dribble, goes to Krager. Krager on the dribble at the right-hand side. Stops, reverses back. Back out to Krager. Nothing happening. A lot of pressure being applied. Goes down into Clay, and it goes. Clay makes a wild pass over kind of a hook shot, but it was about 6 feet over the top of the head of Kirby Faberty's hands, so it goes out of bounds. Glacier Bears putting on a little half-court pressure here. Davis is some out at the top. Miller loses the ball, and the ball brings back in the hands of Davis, and he's going to be whistled for the travel. As the ball was on the floor, he picked it up, took an extra couple steps before he got going. And we got number 23 for the Glacier Bears checking into the ball game, and that's Kai Dixon. Back out to Miller. The Wolves have the basketball now, and back to that 7-point lead again. There's Davis. Davis puts some pressure on Miller. Miller tries to go around him. Spin move back. Can't do anything. Go back out to the side. They go down to Abrahamson. He's surrounded. Gets the ball back out to Blatchley, though, as they had him trapped down low, but he was able to get it off to Rich. And now it's knocked away by Faberty. Faberty's all alone on it. And waiting. Shots partially checked by Blatchley. And nice defense that time by Rich Blatchley, as Riley just waited. And he went up and blocked the shot. Miller stops. Kicks the ball back out. Going to be a foul on one of the Glacier Bears as Miller went hard to the hoop. And the foul is going to be on 31, and that'll be his second personal foul. And he's got that first one in there, so he picks that one up. Miller,
quick basket by Miller there.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a quick bucket. So Miller got that easy one out of that one. Comes back out to the top. 9-point lead now by the Wrangell Wolves. Goes right inside to Davis. Over to Faberty. He looks inside for Kai Dixon, but Kai's the shortest guy out on the foul field. He was right under the hoop, so he couldn't get him the basketball. Underneath, back out to Davis. 1:20 to go. Abrahamson comes out. Now he backs off of Davis. They're setting up the offense. Back out to Davis, right-hand side to Dixon. Alley-oop inside to Krager. Krager looks and can't find anybody. Now they come back out to Davis. Good defense by the Wolves, not giving them any passing lanes to try to get that ball down inside. Back out to Krager. Krager stops, kicks the ball back out to Faverty. Faverty wants to go down the lane. They cut him off nicely, however, and it has to come back out to Davis over to Krager. Back out to Dixon. Back over to Davis, and they go back inside to Faverty. Jumper from the free throw line, a little bit too strong. Rebounds knocked around. Burheim knocks it out of the hands of one of the Wrangell. Back to Dixon. He fires it up a little bit too strong. Krager comes away with the board for the Glacier Bears. Offensive rebounds. How many chances are they going to get? Still comes back off by Faverty, and Krager comes away with another rebound. Offensive boards back to Krager. He'll try the three. In and out, no. Rebound bouncing around, ends up in the hands of Krager again. Over to Davis. Davis penetrates inside. Wanted to go inside to Burham coming down the lane, but it's knocked out of bounds by one of the Wrangell Wolves. Not sure which one. Coming off the bench is Lewis for the Wrangell Wolves. Burheim's going to come out of the ball game for a short time, and looks like Kyle Strong's going to come back in. Now the alley-oop inside, bounces around. Ball's still not controlled. Panya Lewis comes away with it. Alley-oop across. Shot is up and in by Hammer. Nice little lead that time by Loftus as he waited patiently for Hammer to come down and fill that lane. 5 seconds. Downs. Long three-pointer. Rebound comes down in the hands of Miller, and he's immediately fouled by one of the Glacier Bears. Let's see who it's going to be on number 10. That'll be Carson Krager. That'll be his first personal foul. So now with 0.6 of a second to go here, the Wrangell Wolves are going to get the basketball, but they got to go full length of the court. Looking, they get the ball back in. Shot on the way, it would have counted. Had plenty of opportunity here, so we're going to end this first half of play with the Haines Glacier Bears 13 points and the Wrangell Wolves finishing with 24 points. And I'll quickly, as I minute here before I turn it back to KSTK, I'll run down the scoring. The Wrangell JV boys won by a score of 60-44. In that pertaining, Gutenbickler had 17 points, Lewis 13 points, Witherspoon 4 points, 7 points by Gillen, 12 points by Ritchie, and 7 points by Allen. And scoring for the Glacier Bears, Kahana Haley 2 points, 11 points by Kyle Strong, 6 by Hotch, 11 by Kai Dixon, and David Strong had 10 in that game. Holm picked up 2, and Willard picked up 2 in that ball game. So I get a chance here to kind of run down that JV game for the Wrangell Wolves. Well, we're going to turn it back to the KSTK studios for about 9 minutes. We'll be back here with second half action in 9 minutes.
find a substitute. Peter, I might not be here. What's up? So you got this and that, right? Where's your coaching stick? The guy on the base. The guy on the base is the guy that runs. So Lily always says she'd do it. February 17th weekend. My annual tech conference. The only time we look at the ever. Really? Once a year, whether you like it or not. Once a year. Nothing. Oh, second half, So let's see. This was the first. Yeah, that's all right. Just do the halftime. Yeah. Okay. 3
So
for
it's 27?
27. 3 for 27. Oh, 5 for 27.
What was it? 5 for 27?
Yeah. You can call some of the girls' game then. Okay, that's a lot slower.
welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Haines, Alaska, Wrangell Wolves, Glacier Bears going at it in this boys game. I want to remind folks down there that we got this girls game right after this one's over with, and then tomorrow night they flip around just a little bit, but a little earlier start, 5:30 for the girls tomorrow night, 7 o'clock for the boys tomorrow night, so you'll want to tune in for that one. Wrangell Wolves lead 24-13, and they're going to start the second half with possession of the basketball. Glacier Bears man-to-man defense. Miller on the dribble to the left-hand side. Back out to Loftus. He gets the dribble between his legs and almost loses it, but gains control back. Goes to Abramson at the top. Nothing going, however, as they come back out. Krager puts some pressure on. They've reversed. They've changed a little bit on their defensive things. Davis is going to be playing Miller now. Davis being a little bit quicker than Krager. Abramson stopped, goes back inside, wanted to put the ball back inside. Davis makes a steal, however, quickly down the court, 3-on-2 break. Faverty stops, goes up, puts up the shot, and the foul. Nice play that time by Kirby Faverty. He just waited patiently, waited, and then went up and put up the shot. Drew the foul on number 44, Hammer, and that'll be his third personal foul. So Coach probably going to take a quick look at that to see if he wants to leave him in there, as that is his third. Shot by Faverty up and good. So he cuts into that lead by the Wrangell Wolves right now as Faverty is 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Back to an 8-point lead now for the Wolves. They have the basketball. They go back inside to Blatchley. Spin move. Nothing at the free throw line. Stop. Jumper about 6. Rolls around. Doesn't go. Verheyen comes down with the rebound. And quickly up the court come the Glacier Bears. Davis on the dribble. Comes right hand side to Faverty. Back to Davis. Looked at the hoop. Changed his mind over to Krager on that baseline. Left baseline up. Rolls across. Bounces around. And who comes up with it? Now there's going to be a foul on it. The foul's on Krager White. That is his second personal foul. Looks like we're going to have Eagle back into the ball game now quick. Hammer's going to have to take a seat with that third personal foul. Glacier Bears a little bit of pressure. Just beginning second half action. 6:50 to go here in the third quarter. Reverse dribble by Abramson. Stops. Goes by to Blatchley. Spin move. Puts up the shot. It's going to draw the foul. And it's going to be on... that'll be number 12. That foul will be on Strong. And that'll send Bletchley to the free throw line. Has 4 points in the ball game. This one's on its way and looks good, and is, as he picks up his 5th point of the night. 25-16. Leading scorer Miller for the Wrangell Wolves right now with 10. Blatchley's second one on its way also looks good, and is. And now he's got 6 points, back to a 10-point lead now again by the Wolves. 2-3 zone defense. Trying to penetrate inside is Davis. Puts it up, checked by Blatchley. Davis gets his own board back, rolling around on the floor. Strong finally comes up with it. Back out to Faverty, over to Davis. Back over to Krager, back to Davis. And now Coach Fossman says he wants a quick timeout here, as they were having a tough time getting into the offense here. Everybody was standing around. So with the 30-second timeout here, we can kind of go over some stats from the first half there.
Yeah, for the first half, Glacier Bears shot 5 for 27. They had 20%, shooting 20% in the first quarter, 16% in the second quarter, and only 18% in the first half. And the ball has been dropping for the Wolves. They ended up with 10 for 23 for 43%, so that's pretty much the difference. Only a difference in the first half of 4 shots. The Glacier Bears had 4 shots more, but their percentage is just down in the ground.
Okay, going to be Glacier Bear basketball right in front of their coach. Gets the ball back out to Davis. 6:24 to go here in the third quarter. Over to Krager. He tries to go inside to Faverty. Knocked away by Batchley. Abrahamson's coming down. Kicks the ball back off to Loftus, and it's going to be checked out of bounds. Loftus, when the ball was checked, ended up bouncing off of him and goes out of bounds. So the ball goes back to the Glacier Bears. They had a nice 2-on-1 break, but good defense that time. A nice hustle by the Glacier Bears as they got back. Now to Davis. Goes to Faverty. He's trying to come around. Nobody's there. Faverty up and in as Blatchley tried to make the steal. Got himself out of position. Faverty's got 13 points of the 18 points the Glacier Bears have. Abramson out at the top with the dribble. Dixon puts a little play. Abramson beats him, however, goes up and in. So he got him out of position. That's first 2 points for Brett. Backs out to Faverty. Faverty's deep in the corner. Backs outside to Davis. Tries to go across. knocked away by Abramson. He looks up. There's Loftus all alone. Loftus puts it up and in. Skylar Loftus got a nice breakaway, but that was really a nice pass by Brett as he just saw him coming across the lane, gave it to him. He had the easy lay-in. 12-point lead now by the Wrangell Wolves. Davis goes around, but there's going to be a whistle on it. He had his man beat there just for a second, but Brett Abramson kind of came around and got him over the back, so that's going to be his first personal foul. Davis is going to take a break for the Glacier Bears, and Krager now will handle the ball probably more for the Glacier Bears. They come across to Krager, stops, goes back inside, out to Strong. Alley-oop inside, almost stolen away. Faberty with a shot, a little bit too strong. Rebound comes back down. Who gets there? Loftus does. Ball's going to go out of bounds. Loftus was laying on the floor, but he touched the ball. Oh, wait a minute. Foul's on 1-2. All right, wait a minute. One of the officials came across, and the foul's going to be on number 12. That'll be Strong. That'll be his second personal foul. So the Glacier Bears foul in that particular situation. There's Davis. Loftus out at the top, still with the dribble, spins back, still not across the half-court line, now gets it across to Miller. Miller stops out of the top with the left-handed dribble. Krager puts a little pressure on. Blatchley comes out to set the screen. Miller, long three, a little bit too short, down to Eagle, up and in. Eagle just happened to be at the right spot, fell right into his hands, and he just laid it up and in. Glacier Bears not blocking him out at all. Ball's almost stolen away now. Goes over to Dixon, back out to Faverty. Faverty looks down the lane, stops, jumper in about 6, up and in. Faverty went high in the air. That one, he's got 15 points now. Back to that 12-point lead by the Wolves. They go over to Eagle, back out to Loftus. Still can't find anybody. Comes across, goes to Miller. Krager puts a little pressure on over to Eagle. Stops, up and in. As Eagle got it. And the reason Eagle was able to get that bucket is Verheim had left him to come over and double, and Eagle was all alone under the hoop. Nice recognized pass by Miller as he just gave him the easy pass and had the lay-in. Oh, long shot by Strong, a little bit too strong. Dixon comes down with it. Back out to Faverty. He'll fire up the three. Too strong. Rebound down to Miller. Bounces off the back of the iron. Miller comes away with it. 14-point by the Wrangell Wolves now. Miller out at the top looking. He'll fire up a long three, a little bit too strong. Eagle comes away with it. He'll kick it back out. Loftus will fire up a three, a little bit too short. Running the ball down. Comes back outside, and looks like Abramson's foot was on the out-of-bounds line, so the ball goes back to the Glacier Bears. And we have Kyle Strong coming into the game for the Glacier Bears right now. So Kyle's in there. Davis checks back in also. Krager comes back out on the right-hand side. Back out to Davis. Davis dribbles inside, goes to Faverty, stops, jumps, gets everybody in the air, up and in. Kirby Faverty, he's kind of having his way on the inside. Foul's going to be on number 12, Blatchley. If that's the case, that is his third personal foul. They've been going right at Blatchley down underneath. Quickly off the bench now is number 32, Gillen, checking in for the Wrangell Wolves. Blatchley had to come out of that. Faverty does a nice job when he gets down there within 3 or 4 feet of the bucket of getting his rest of the players back up in the air. Faverty misses the first opportunity from there, and he is 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Goes to Miller. Miller goes up and around his man, puts up the shot. Too strong. Rebound down to Davis. He finds Verham breaking down the lane. Stops, puts it up and in. Wesley Verham, that's his first 2 points. Glacier Bears cutting into that lead. 10-point lead by the Wrangell Wolves. They go to Miller, over to Loftus. Out to the side, nothing going. Back out to Eagle, over to Miller. Miller waits, tries to get around Davis. Going to be a foul on it. Foul's on 32, a moving screen on it. That one was pretty obvious on that one. As he spun around, he just kept moving everybody out of the way, so Fisher was standing right there. Davis with the dribble, 2:55 to go here in the third quarter. Davis goes left-hand side to Krager. They go back inside to Verham. He looks inside, finds Kyle Strong, back out to Davis, looks up. Krager, three-pointer on the way, in and out, no rebound, comes down to Eagle. Eagle's certainly doing a nice job coming off the bench for the Wrangell Wolves tonight. Comes out to Miller. Miller goes hard to the hoop. Nice defense by Verham as they shut it off. Again, Eagle was wide open in there. He could have had that, but because Verheim came over to help. And now there's going to be a whistle on it. Another foul Foul's on 32. He's going to pick up a second one. Another moving screen on it, pushed right into him. And we've got 15 coming off the bench for the Wolves. That'll be Lewis. Glacier Bears have a chance to cut into it here. They have the basketball. Back out to Davis. Davis looks inside, slowly coming across. 2:20 to go here. Over to Strong. David Strong. Ball's on the floor. Fought for a rebound. Going to roll around. Going to be a timeout by the Wrangell Wolves as coach recognized that he was about ready to roll over and turn it over here. It looks like it's going to be a full timeout, so we're going to turn it back to KSTK Studios with the Wrangell Wolves 34, Haines Glacier Bears 24. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Going to be Wrangell Wolves ball here. 2:14 to go here in the third quarter. Glacier Bears going to put a little pressure on here. Little man-to-man pressure here, but Abrahamson's going to easily get it across the half-court line as Krager comes across. Krager goes back on the left-hand side, tries to cut him off on the baseline. Abrahamson himself pinned down. Goes to Lewis, stops, puts up the shot from about 6, a little bit short, bouncing around. Finally, Krager comes away with it for the Glacier Bears. Long down-court pass, almost stolen away, but Faverty comes away with it, stops on the baseline, goes inside to Strong. He moves around, but he is going to be whistled for the travel. There was a travel down on this end. Coach was up hollering travel, but he got the call on the other end, so he's going to get the basketball back. Dixon comes into the ball game. Full court man-to-man pressure now by the Glacier Bears. Goes over to the far-hand side. Lewis is on the dribble, Dixon on the dribble, but he turns the basketball back over as that was Loftus just got out of control. He got to going too fast here and just made a travel, moved his pivot foot around. Back out to Davis, left-hand side to Krager. 1:30 to go here in the third quarter. Over to Dixon, back out to Davis, looks inside, back out to Dixon. Three-pointer on the way, going to be too long, going to be a foul on it. Foul's going to be on number 15 after the shot. That'll be Lewis. And I think he's going to get 3 free throws out of it as he was way beyond the three-point arc. Dixon, first shot on its way, good. So he picks up his first point of the ball game, coming from the 3 line. He'll get another one. This one's on its way, and it's good. So he picks up another one there, coming off the bench, back into the ball game. Now is number 32. That'll be Gillen. Dixon's cut into that lead. He gets one more as there's a three-point, a little bit too short. Rebound fought for underneath, and finally Abramson comes up with it for the Wrangell Wolves. The Wolves quickly down the court. Abramson looks inside. Blatchley on the bench, Hammer on the bench. They go back inside over to Eagle. He stops, gets the ball back out to Miller's hands. Miller holds it high over his head, spins around his man, wants the baseline, kicks the ball back out. Rebound comes back into Loftus as he tried to dish that out. 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. Spin back around, Abrahamson at the top. Brett reverse dribble behind his back, stops, kicks the ball out to Eagle, puts up the shot a little bit too short, rebound down to Verham, and he quickly goes over to Krager. An easy shot that time by Eagle, but he just couldn't get it to go. Krager's trapped in the corner, now he gets it off to Verham. Verham comes back out, Davis wants the three-pointer, he's got it on the way in and out, no rebound, bounced around. Back into Faverty's hands. He fires up the three. Going to be too long. Rebound down to Krager for the Glacier Bears. That's 3 rebounds now they've had. Now they go back into Faberty, and he gets the easy up and in. He got back inside, and back to 34-28's the score. The Wrangell Wolves had the ball. 16 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 13 seconds to go. Goes right-hand side to Abramson. Glacier Bears definitely cut into that. Abramson goes down hard. Wants to go to the hoop. Going to be a foul on it. And it's going to be on 45. That'll be Brett Abramson. That was his second. He was just a little out of control when he went down hard to the lane. He wanted to go all the way to the hoop, but the Glacier Bears were there. Two players, and he knocked them both over. Krager, long three-pointer, not going to go here. So we're in this third quarter of play with the Haines Glacier Bears 28 points and the Wrangell Wolves 34 points. We're going to turn it back to KSTK Studios for 1 minute. Back in 1 minute. And welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Wrangell 34, Haines 28. Shooting percentages, Glacier Bears much better this quarter.
Yeah, they shot 7 for 16 for 43%, and the Wolves dropped a little bit, 4 for 11. They're down 36%. That's their worst percentage for the game. So, ball dropping for the Wolves has been the key so far.
Okay, looks like Coach Angerman's going back with Hammer and Blatchley back into the ball game. Each of those ball players having 3 fouls each. Glacier Bears will have the ball at the start of the fourth quarter here. Davis directing traffic out at the top. Comes out the side. Burham underneath. Nothing going, however. Back out to Krager. Back over to Davis. Spin goes down the middle. Wanted to go inside to Faberty. Faberty shot a little bit too short. Blatchley goes up. Comes down with the rebound for the Wolves. Goes it over to Miller. Miller with the slow dribble across. Glacier Bears putting the man-to-man pressure on. Reverses it back. Goes to Loftus. Loftus looks inside. Nothing going, however, as Krager will come out. Back to Miller. Way beyond the three-point arc here now are the Wolves. Glacier Bears coming out, putting that pressure on. Kick the ball back across, nothing going. Hammer gives it off to Abramson. He takes a couple of dribbles, can't do anything. Back to Miller. Miller wanted the three, decided to change his mind. However, now he wants to see if he can beat his man. Not there, however. Comes back out to Hammer. Hammer goes down the lane. He had the shot. Three-pointer on the way, a little bit too strong. Rebound down to Krager. And Krager gives it off to Davis. Davis finds inside, but Blatchley hustles down, kicks the ball back inside, and the shot is missed by Krager, and it's going to go out of bounds off of his hands as the Wolves threw that ball back inside. And it was 4 red shirts around one, but Krager came away with the basketball, but unfortunately he wasn't able to control it. Back out to Blatchley. Blatchley goes down the lane, stops, puts up the shot, partially checked, however, and the rebound comes down into Faberty's hands, and he'll bring it across the half court for the Glacier Bears. Tries to go back inside. Long three-pointer, no rebound fought for. Comes back down in the hands of Miller. Krager put up that three, just a little bit too strong, but Miller ends up with it now. He goes, stops, puts it up and in. As Trevor Miller has picked up 12 points now for the Wrangell Wolves. They lead 36-28, 6:15 to go here in the basketball game. Back out to Davis. Davis stops, wanted the three, changed his mind, goes to Dixon, over to Faberty, long three-pointer on the way, bounces around. Burham comes away with it, back out to Faberty. He takes a couple dribbles, now he'll go back out to Krager. Krager wanted the baseline, good defense by Hammer. Back inside to Faberty, he forces up the shot and draws the foul. The foul is on number 12. That'll be Blatchley, and that'll be his fourth personal foul. 5:58 to go here in the basketball game. 36-28. Faberty at the free throw line. 3 for 4, 4 for 5. Glacier Bears really have never led in the ball game except for right at the very beginning. The Wolves have come out, and he gets the second one to go. As Faverty is doing a nice job. He's got 21 points of the 30 for the Glacier Bears. Hammer all alone. He's waving his arms. Miller stops, kicks the ball across to Loftus. He controls it back out to Hammer. Hammer drives inside, puts it up the shot, and you can hear the slaps from here. Hammer's going to draw the foul. He's going to go to the free throw line for the Wolves. Let's see if he can get him to go here, as he made a nice hard move to the line. Officials are talking it over here to make sure they get the right person, as there were two Haines Glacier Bears there. 5:44. The foul's on number 10. And that was before the shot, so they're not shooting. That's 3 on Krager. Comes back inside. Goes to Miller. Miller stops, looks inside, holds the ball high up. All alone is Hammer. Wants the baseline. Doesn't get it, however. Comes back out to Loftus, over to Blatchley. Jumper from the free throw line, in and out, no rebound, fought for. Burham comes away with it for the Glacier Bears. They down by 6, but they have the basketball. Krager comes back out. Faverty, long 3 on the way. It's good. So Faverty has got the game close here. 3 points, that's the closest the Glacier Bears have been since the beginning of the ball game. 5:14 to go here. Looking inside, out to Abramson, they go to Blatchley. Blatchley goes over to Hammer, back out, goes to Loftus. Loftus moves inside, going to be a foul on Burham, as Loftus tried to go hard to the hoop. 4th team foul, 5th team foul now on the Glacier Bears. 18 fouls on the Wrangell Wolves. They have the basketball under their hoop. Coming back around to Miller. Miller comes back out to Hammer. Hammer looks inside, can't find anything, gives up his dribble, however, back to Miller. Miller waits for Blatchley to set the screen. Nothing going here. And there Miller tried to go inside. Good defense. Miller puts up the shot. He's got it. Trevor Miller gets a nice jumper out of it. That's 14 for him. Back to a 5-point lead now by the Wolves. They try to go inside. Nothing going here. Ball goes into the hands of Faverty, over to Davis. 3-pointer on the way. In and out. No rebound. Comes back down into the hands of the Wolves. Miller came away with that board. For the Wolves, he looks, stops, fires up a long 3, a little bit too strong, going in the corner, going to go out of bounds. 38-33, 4:25 to go. Looks like we're going to have Krager coming out of the ball game, and we're going to send David Strong into the game for the Glacier Bears. Out to Miller. Miller steps up, puts a little pressure on Davis. Now they've dropped back into that zone defense again. Goes right hand side to Strong. Goes inside to Burham. Nothing going. Back out. Faverty on the way. Shot is good. They just can't leave him alone at all. He's going to get the bucket. He's got 27 of the 36 points. So I'm sure they're going to make an adjustment. Ball comes down. Going to be a foul as Miller was out of control. Tried to make that pass down underneath. Didn't stop, ran right over top of the Glacier Bear, and that'll be Trevor Miller's first personal foul. Now it's a 2-point game. Glacier Bears down by 2, but they have the basketball, and they actually could take the lead on a 3 here. Back out to Davis. Davis goes inside, jumper about 6, up and in. Davis beats his man, and that's his first 2 points, so we're tied. Alley-oop all the way across, goes to Hammer, over to Blatchley. He throws it over the hands, but Loftus hustles over nicely, gets the ball back in, and a steal by the Glacier Bears. 38-38's the score. Rebound comes back down. Now there's going to be a whistle on Davis as Loftus came down right from behind, made the steal. Ball's going to go back to the Miller, or to the Wrangell Wolves. Miller's going to inbound right here in front of the scorer's bench. So Wrangell gave up that 10-point lead. Glacier Bears have it tied 38-38. They go to Abrahamson. He'll bring it across. Brett looks down with the dribble. Dixon puts some pressure. They go back into Blatchley. Stop, spin, move, up, in, no. Rebound down to Hammer. He puts it up a little bit too strong. Abrahamson comes away with it. He comes down with the rebound. Now there's going to be a foul on the rebound as they came off with it. Fouls on 31. That'll be Wesley Verham. That is his 3rd personal foul. Krager comes back into the ball game. And that will be a 1-and-1 opportunity now for the Wrangell Wolves, as that's the 7th team foul on the Glacier Bears. Glacier Bears, the Wolves have 9 team fouls. This one is good, so he gets that first one to go. Picks up the point from there easy enough. And that is his third point of the ball game. I thought sure he had more than that. He's had some nice opportunities. This one's on its way in and out. No rebound, comes back down in the hands of the Glacier Bears as Verham comes away with it. Down the court comes Davis. Glacier Bears down by 1, but they have the basketball, and looks like Coach Fossman wants to take a timeout. He does here, so with the score, the Wrangell Wolves 39 and the Haines Glacier Bears 38. We're going to turn it back to KSTK. We'll be back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Wrangell leads by 1, 38-39. And if it wasn't for Kirby Faverty having a 27 points of the 38 points for the Glacier Bears, this game wouldn't even be close here. So Kirby's having quite a game tonight.
He got warmed up.
Verham will get the ball back into Davis's hands. They're down by 1, but they have the basketball. Davis takes the dribble, comes back, looks inside, finds Krager right-hand side. Now they go into Verham. He looks inside for Faverty. Now they get him down low on the block. Spin move, partially checked, and it is checked. And Abramson comes away with it. He's on the dribble. Stops, gives it back off to Hammer, goes all the way across to Miller. Miller back out to Blatchley. Blatchley looks inside. He wants to move down inside. Jumper from about 6. In and out. Rebound. Comes down to Krager for the Glacier Bears, and they're quick down the court. Boy, that was a nice look by Blatchley. Just couldn't get it to drop from the free throw line. Back out to Krager, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Loftus. So Glacier Bears have the ball right in front of their bench. 2:30 to go in the ball game. Glacier Bears down by 1. Looking. Now they get it out to Davis. Davis will take the dribble across the half-court line. 2-3 zone defense again by the Wolves. Comes back over to Krager. Krager comes across right-hand side. Glacier Bears like to work that outside beyond the three-point arc for quite a long time. Faverty, long three, and he's got it. Faverty's got 30 points, and the Glacier Bears now lead by 2. So they work that around. Faverty is about 5 or 6 feet behind the three-point arc on that one. They cross to Emerson. Back inside to Davis. Step up for Ham, makes the steal. Faverty on the dribble. He'll take it. No, looks. Nice defense by Loftus. Didn't give him the lane, however. Back to Davis. Glacier Bears lead by 2, 41-39. Cross-court pass stolen away by Abramson. 3-on-1 break. Coming down, kicks the ball back out. Davis makes the steal. All the way down to Ram, all alone up, and he missed the lay-in. Rebound comes back down to Hammer. Now quickly down the court comes Miller. 1:30 to go in the basketball game. Miller's still on the dribble. Stops, jumper from about 6, and he's got it. And it's going to be a 2, and we're tied. Miller's got his 16th point. Glacier Bears go to Faverty. He wanted the shot this time. Didn't get it, however, and Coach Fossman calls a quick timeout here. We'll see what it's going to be here. It's going to be a full timeout again with the score 41 Haines, 41 Wrangell. We'll turn it back to KSTK for 1 minute. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. They have the basketball. Scores tied 41-41. 1 minute, 19 seconds to go in the game here. Wrangell Wolves had a nice big lead. Got a little complacent about things. Made some bad passes and some decisions on shots. Glacier Bears took advantage of it. Got right back into the ball game. Comes back out to Davis. Davis on the dribble. Stops. Gets it out. Faverty. Long three on the way. A little bit too strong. Rebound fought for. Goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Wrangell basketball. Again, Coach Fossman set it up. Called it out here. And he wanted the hands in Faverty's, the ball in Faverty's hands for that shot. And was able to get it last time. But wasn't able to get there anyway. Now they go back into Hammer. Hammer's on the dribble. He's hustling down. Nobody picks him up. Comes back on his side. Rebound underneath. And Strong comes up with it. Davis on the breakdown. Davis comes across the half-court line. 55 seconds to go in the ball game. Davis goes to the left-hand side. They look for Faverty on that baseline, and Coach Fossman's going to call a timeout again. That's his last timeout of the ball game. So 50 seconds to go. It's going to be a full timeout. So we're going to turn it back to KSTK Studios. Scores 41 Haines, 41 Wrangell. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Don't forget, folks, down there in Wrangell, we've got the girls game right after this one. It's not going to start at 7:30 like it's supposed to, but anyway, we'll get it on the air for you as quickly as we can. Glacier Bears have the basketball in front of their bench. 50.8 seconds to go in the game. Scores tied 41-41. Over to Davis. Davis out the top with the dribble. It's 2-3 zone defense by the Glacier Bears. Faverty way out on the side. Now he goes down low. Back over to Krager. Krager looks, takes the dribble across. Glacier Bears out at the top. Slow dribble back to Davis. Glacier Bears look like they're just going to kind of work it down. Maybe try to take that last second shot here with no time left. Comes back out. Loftus. And now there's going to be a foul on it. And the foul's going to be on 2-3. That'll be Loftus. That's his second personal foul. And they're going to be 2 shots by Davis. And Davis is a good free throw shooter here. 27.1 seconds to go. Coach Angerman's not too sure why Loftus had to go out there. Schuyler didn't really need to put that kind of pressure on. Anyway, shots by Davis, and it's good. So Mark Davis picks up his third point of the ball game and his first one from the free throw line. Davis back at the line again. Glacier Bears have the lead, 42-41, haven't led only in this fourth quarter of action, and only shots on its way. This one's also good. Glacier Bears doing an excellent job from the free throw line. They're just collecting up points, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points just from the free throw line alone. So we're going to take a 1 minute timeout again as Coach Angerman wants a timeout now. Glacier Bears lead 43-41. We'll turn it back to KSTK for 1 minute. Back in 1 minute. Welcome back to Glacier Bear basketball. Glacier Bears on defense now. Wrangell Wolves have the basketball. They're down by 2, 43-41. It's like the Glacier Bears are going to come up and put some full court pressure on here. Glacier Bears are in the double bonus. The Wrangell Wolves in the 1-and-1 single bonus. Comes back outside. Miller with the dribble. 25 seconds to go in the ball game. He's on the dribble, gets it across the half-court line. Davis working hard. They go to Blatchley. Blatchley turns, goes back to Miller. Miller went outside, nothing, puts up the shot, and he's got it. Trevor Miller goes to that baseline, picks up his 18 point. 9 seconds to go here. Comes back out over to Faberty. Faberty tries to go inside, forces up the shot, and he's got it. And Faberty picks up another 2, 32. But Coach Cody Angerman was up off the bench, and he's gonna have what looks like about almost 3 seconds on the clock after that shot as Faberty got inside with the hoop, got the easy bucket on it. And they're going to put 2-point, well, we're not sure. They're going to set it around here, get it sorted out here. But 45-43 as Faberty has picked up his 32nd point of the ball game of the 45 points that the Glacier Bears have. So Cody Angerman's drawn up something here to try to get something going hard to the hoop with only just a few seconds left. 2.8 seconds is what they ended up putting on the clock. So we'll see if they can get something together to get the shot. Glacier Bears just have to make sure they don't foul anybody on it because they probably going to end up being a 3-point shot. We got to go full length to the court here. So let's see what the Wolves come up with in their plan. Blatchley's going to inbound. Wrangell sets it up. 2.8 seconds to go. Haines leads by 2. Goes to Miller. Miller looks up the court. 1-5. Shots on its way, and it's off the front of the iron, and he's going to miss it. So the Haines Glacier Bears are going to win this one tonight.